All right, YouTube, it's your boy PaulMerization. Got a great deck profile for you from Connor Smith. What did we do today, Connor?
We got to top 8 in the Grand Creators Tournament. Lost in true fashion with the easiest deck in the absolute world to play. The best part of it is I was the only one out of the whole 8 that wanted to play, and so everybody was mad at me. But, you know, it is what it is. But had a lot of fun. Got to hang out with my buddies, and it was a good day.
So what did we play today anyways?
We played the most brain-dead deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, which is Invoke Dogmatika DPE. This deck didn't get touched on the ban list like at all for some reason, but I needed something that was easy to play so I can just turn my brain off and just, you know, go from there.
All right, man, let's do that deck profile.
Alrighty, this is going to be the most cookie-cutter deck you have ever seen in your entire life. I'll do it by engine. We've got 3 Alistair, 2 Invocation, triple Meltdown, and a Terraforming to search it. Easiest normal summon in the game. Everybody knows what Alistair does. Yeah, pretty much nothing really to explain there. Then we got the other engine, which is the Dogmatika. I played triple Ecclesia, 1 Maximus, 1 Fleur, triple Nadir, 1 Punishment, and 1 honorary Dogmatika card, which is Schism. I only got to summon Window 1 time, and when I did, it won me the game, but it doesn't come up as much as you'd think.
Anything you want to change from Nadir going to 2?
No, honestly, it's kind of a blessing because it just makes more room for hand traps. Like, in theory, you could play 3 Maximus, but I think honest to God, it would just be too cloggy because after you set up the window play, it's literally dead. So I think I'll just main deck 2 Cosmics just for the skill drain that's coming out, or went to 3. Then we have the third engine, which is the Fusion Destiny DPE, triple Fusion Destiny, 1 Dash and 1 Celestial. Again, broken. Taking this to 2, it literally does nothing because you got Verte, but half the time you hard draw it literally anyway. So nothing really to say about that. And then for kind of the tech hand trap cards, I chose to play 3 Lancia, triple Ash, triple Imperm, triple Nib. That was my hand trap lineup. These all performed fantastic. I would not change anything. I've tried Drolls instead of Nibs. Doesn't come up enough. Everybody's so surprised game 1 when you Lancia them. They just don't know what to do because it turns off all the tinny stuff for Swords Hole, turns off PK, it hits my deck in the mirror, pretty much hits like everything. So I wouldn't change anything with this moving forward. We have the 1 called by. The only time I drew this today, he didn't have a hand trap. I said it, and he harpies me, and I cried. And then the last 3 consistency card was Pot of Prosperity. I hate saying this, but I preface this: if you cannot afford these, don't play this deck. I have tried everything but these, and I just kept losing. Not consistent enough. You brick. You'll see like too many of one engine and not enough of the other. So you really do need these, which sucks, but it really does come in handy. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. We'll go to the side again. This is the most standard thing. 1 Secure Gardena, Almirage Verte for the links. Verte came up 1 time. I was kind of hoping they'd ban this to make room for something else, but you know, I'm gonna have it there just in case, but it never comes up half the time. For the fusions, we've got 1 Titaniclad, 1 DPE, 2 Entis. I play 2. A lot of people play Omega just so you can send it and shuffle back like Invocation or something like that, but that never comes up for me, and I really like having the double pop, being able to set punishment and be able to pop 2, but then on like turns later I can still Nadir send Entis, and that half the time they don't expect it, and so I really like having double Entis. And then for the invoked fusions, 1 Raijin, never came up today ever. So
was that mostly for like the birds?
It's for the bird up, but you know, honest to God, you'll see in the side the bird up like matchup, like I pretty much beat that. This is for that Flunder and stuff like that. I always expect to play against it. Never came up. So I think it's good enough to keep, but honestly, you could cut it theoretically. 2 Mechaba. This is pretty much just here for prosperity. Very rarely will you make the second one, but it does come up. but it's just so good, you know, to play too. One Purgatrio didn't come up at all today. I mean, it's for OTKs, but honestly, it's great, but it never came up. This MVP, this is more of an OTK than Purgatrio, because people forget that it can banish to gain, and that's till the end of your opponent's turn. So the fact that if I have Meltdown on field, can bring this out, pop, you can't respond to it, and then banish one of my fusions in there and attack for gain, like, it is insane. I absolutely love this card. It never comes up enough, but like in theory, I think like 2 of this wouldn't be terrible. But and then for the Shaddoll stuff, Winda, Apclone, Construct. You never summon Construct. This is only for the Maximus play. Being able to, if your hand's just fantastic and you can get access to Maximus, you'll just add Schism off Apclone, discard it, and then special Maximus send Construct, and Construct will add back Schism. So I really want to cut this, but I don't think anything else would do anything better for it. So that was the extra deck. Performed really well. I mean, the cards are there, but we'll see what happens going forward. Going on to the side, I played 3 Triple Tactics. This was an amazing card all day. Every time it went off, it was fantastic. Being able to, when they, you know, when you normal summon Alistair, they ash it, and you always have the invocation because, you know, invoke players. And just being able to talents and either draw or look at their hand and just guarantee you pretty much win is, you know, is amazing. 3, there can be only one. Holy crap, this card. This is an auto win against Sword Soul. Every time I played Sword Soul today and I had this and I flipped it, 1. They can't do anything because everything's Worm. And I can play under this really well, having DPE, Mecha Ball, all this stuff. So I really want to find room for this in the main, but I just don't know what I'd cut for it. But
yeah, who's been telling you main that thing for the longest time?
But this card was fantastic. A weird tech choice was 3 DD Crow. This, in theory, would have been really good had I saw it. Never saw it when I sided it in, but also never really played a matchup where I needed it. It's really good in like the Sky Striker, being able to hit the engage, stuff like that, and also hitting DPE. But it just, you know, the fact that, again, I can make a Goides with their DPE is insane because they forget that too. It's just any fusion. So this was really good, and the fact that it's not once per turn, but oftentimes it can conflict because I main deck Lancia, and so I can Lancia them and it's just dead. But I might change this up, but I like it in theory. Triple Droll, this was only in there for Bird Up. Sided in gets Bird Up. I saw it, Lancia and Ash, and he couldn't do anything. So you could main deck this, but honestly, every time I do, I just play against the decks. It doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything against Sword Soul. So I think it's better on the side. And then for the last 3 cards, 2 Cosmics, 1 Harpies. Never sided these in all day. Never needed to. Never played against a back row deck. These are probably going to go in the main, with Skill Drain going to 3, and then, you know, Deer to 2 and stuff like that. But other than that, this deck performed fantastic. The only times I lost was if I just bricked, or the guy would just open God tier, like order, and just had everything. So I don't think I'd change anything moving forward. It was a lot of fun. Again, this deck is just brain dead, so it didn't take a lot of skill or anything like that. But I think this is what I'm going to play moving forward and stuff like that.
Any shout outs or any salt you want to put on the wound out there?
I mean, shout out to our locals, always. I feel like we don't get a lot of love in, you know, this area and stuff like that, even though we got a lot of good players. Not a lot of salt. It was really funny to see like all top 7 people really get mad at me, and I'm like, but it's, you know, it's Grand Creators. But I also pulled a collector's rare, or Paul pulled it for me, so I kind of kept winning. So, but it is what it is. But again, had a lot of fun. Shout out, you know, to, you know, Paul's channel and stuff like that. But yeah.
All right, guys, we got it from Connor. Hope to see him next time in another video.